Good morning, Millennial Morticians. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of this incredible podcast. I know you could have decided to be anywhere, but today you decided to be with us. And for that, I am grateful. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank the sponsors of today's episode, Millennial Memorial Live Streaming. If you and your families need live streaming simplified and redefined, check them out at faveo.org. Again, if you and your families need live streaming that's simplified and redefined, check them out at faveo.org. Well, let's jump right into today's topic and episode. I think it's going to change your life, the trajectory of your funeral home, and the impact that it will make in your community. Get your notepads out. It's going to be a good one. The title of today's episode is The 5 Conversations Every Family Should Have Before It's Too Late. The 5 conversations every family should have before it's too late. Most families wait until death occurs before asking these important questions. By then, emotions are high, decisions are rushed, and disagreements can sometimes surface. In this episode, you'll understand the conversations every family should have along the way that they're needed and in the correct order that they're needed. This mission of us encouraging people to pre-plan and have important conversations about death and make it more approachable is so important. You want people to be educated, informed, and most importantly, you want to leave a lasting impact on somebody else's life. Well, let's jump right into today's topics and the questions that need to be asked to help people make the best decisions, make the best impact on families' lives that we possibly can. The first question: who will make decisions? Medical power of attorney? Who's the funeral decision maker? Why assumptions create family conflict? Because when we assume that we know what the person wants to do before they pass, it can create headaches and boundaries and misalignments. Oftentimes what you hear is one family member says here's one thing from a person, another family member hears another thing from the person, and now you already have your first conflict in funerals. What that person believed in, maybe they said cremation, maybe they said burial. And so you want to avoid all forms of family dysfunction and disagreement. You need proper time to heal, to grieve, to have your affairs in order, taken care of, both actual plans as far as merchandise and then financial plans. You don't want anything else that could tie you down or add more stress or put more on you than you can possibly bear during your time of bereavement. The second question that should be asked of people: burial, cremation, or the new added question, or something else? As you know, there's so many other things you can do as well with remains: scattering, sea burial, sea scattering, tree planting and harvesting. There's so many more options available. So when you say or something else, people are going to ask you, well, what are you talking about? Go into detail, share more. They're going to want to hear more about whatever you're offering as far as the services and what you can do. What I've started to realize is people love having the option to do something that's different and outside of the box. But you have to give them that option. You have to equip them with those qualities, with those things, with those offerings that your funeral home has, so that they have the option to do something else. Families shouldn't have to guess what kind of disposition a person would want. We should know. We've had all this time in our lives to talk and have these conversations with people, so we can have the answers that we need and the things that we need to know to understand, to plan the best funeral we can for a person. We shouldn't let the conversation of death scare us out of our opportunity to make the services that your loved one would have wanted perfect. Personal stories you've encountered while maintaining confidentiality. If you and that family member had a private conversation, if you guys talked about it before, if while they were in the hospital sick, you might have grazed over, I will want this, or I will want that. Be sure to apply that when you're in the arrangement conference room or while you're making these big decisions, and say, hey, I think so-and-so wanted this. We had this conversation. I remember exactly where we were at the time it happened. There's nothing wrong with date marking and showing the importance of everything that you're going over and that you're discussing with the family. Question number 3, how will it be paid for? This is an important one, folks. We have to know how we're going to cover the services. As much as we all would want to do funerals for free, we all know that's not possible in a business aspect. So the financial reality of funerals, as we know, funerals can be extremely costly endeavors. And so how do we prepare for that? Do we have a savings plan? Do we have a trust? Do we have a will? Are we pre-planning? Are we locking in prices for that day at today's cost for that funeral home? How are we going about it? And pre-planning removes a lot of stress. You can see night and day the difference between an at-need family and a pre-need turn at-need family. The stress is night and day because everything's been handled. We don't have to worry about money. They can go on with a clear mind and clear heart and just focus on grief and the services that are being provided to them at that time. And then you have to go over the common misconceptions about life insurance. Some people think that money is just going to wham, hit their account that same day. That's not always true. It could take weeks to months for that life insurance money to hit your actual bank account. And life insurance money was created solely for the purpose of taking care of you after funeral services have been concluded, not during the actual service itself. So we have to get out of that mindset of thinking that's what life insurance is for. Life insurance is to cover the rest of your life without your loved one and to make sure everything and all your affairs stay in order and in check. And the fourth question is, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind for the people around you? Do you want to leave them more than money? Do you want to leave letters, videos, family traditions, values worth passing down? What kind of legacy do you want to leave during these services and in your life? Do you want to leave a legacy of unpreparedness and chaos? Or do you want to leave a legacy of preparedness financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally for your family at the time of your passing? They know that everything was taken care of because you did the responsible thing and you handled your affairs in an orderly and timely and in a professional fashion. And the fifth and most important question, don't wait until tomorrow. Death does not check calendars. One conversation today can save years of regret down the line. So have the conversation today. Don't wait another day. Don't extend it. Don't delay it. We all know the inevitable will happen. Death will happen, and we don't know when, which is why we always have to stay prepared. It's not something we want to think about, but it's something we have to prepare for. Just like we have to prepare to buy a house. We have to prepare to go to college. We have to prepare for every big milestone in our life, and death is one of them. Well, guys, I'm your host, Jaden Folks. This is the Millennial Mortician podcast, a podcast that engraves, and I hope it engraves you, your family, and your friends to think about these important questions that we have to ask ourselves in funeral services. And remember this, the greatest gift you can leave your family isn't just financial security. It's clarity. When your wishes are known, your loved ones can spend less time wondering what you would have wanted, and more time celebrating the life that you lived. And that's what we want. We want people to spend as much time as possible celebrating a life well lived, well deserved, and well equipped to handle anything for the future. Well, guys, I love you. Stay encouraged. Stay dry in whatever weather conditions that you're in. And I look forward to catching you in the next one. Peace. Be blessed.